Our Tech Talk guy, that's right, Julian Sanders with us today, and we're going to be talking about staying focused at work, school, and because there's lots of digital distractions out there. So Julian, nice to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
So, before we start talking about the Kinder, and we'll talk about some of these items here that create a bit more focus, let's talk about, for generally speaking, what are some of the things that really tend to distract us when we're using computers and we're supposed to be on task?
Well, a lot of people are into social networks. They're always on Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of times if you need to stay focused, if you just disable the internet. Laptops have a little switch, you can turn it off, and there's also full screen modes inside of things like word processors, and if you're reading information on spreadsheets or whatnot, try full screen mode out, see if that helps you out a little bit. It'll give you more focus on that instead of having all of the stuff popping up at you all the time.
So that will actually stop the little balloons from popping up and say, this has happened, that's happened, why don't you come over here and check it out?
For the most part, yeah. A lot of people can also just log off. It's common to kind of stay logged on, especially to Facebook all the time, and it's constantly popping up and making noise at you, so maybe just hit that log off button. Might save you a little bit of time, make you a little more efficient. Make you a little more efficient.
Okay, so those are some of the general ideas and the ways to stay focused, and that tends to be basically what it comes down to, is those emails, those things from social media. What about if you work, goodness knows I need my email on because things are popping up. Is there a way to disable something like, let's say, Facebook and still get my emails for work, things like that?
Absolutely, yeah. You can, if you're on the web, you can just disable the Facebook log on right there. You can also go into privacy controls for the big ones like Twitter and Facebook, and set it so it doesn't notify you at certain times of day. So if you know you're going to be busy from 9 to 5 every day, you can set that time aside on Facebook and say, don't send me any email notifications. So it'll all come to you when you're done work.
Okay, well that's fair enough, and exactly. And that's when you should be doing the social networking. When you're not at work. There you go. I would never encourage anybody to do that. Hey, look, I'm so bad at that kind of stuff. I'm not even in violation, not even remotely close. So kids tend to be a lot more savvy when it comes to all of these things, it seems. Clearly, there's a lot of distractions out there for younger people. What are some of the things that we can do to sort of, keep them on point as well when it comes to doing homework or the things they have to do?
Well, a lot of kids these days have iPod touches and iPads. They've become ridiculously popular to do schoolwork. So there's an app that you can buy called MobiSip, and it'll allow you to set up, it's basically a secure browser, and allow you to set up an environment where you can't look at websites with violent or mature content, and it'll also keep a little track that the parents can log in and see what's going on, so it ensures that you have only the information you need access to available. So apps and a couple of little setups on your tablet will really help in the long run.
And so this one's called MobiSip, as though it's like Moby Dick, M-O-B-Y-S-I-P?
M-O-B-I-C-I-P.
Okay.
Yeah, so even just to go to mobisip.com, it gives you very good instructions there. Different levels for different age ranges.
And this is something that you'd obviously have to physically take your child's or your teenager's phone and say, okay, we're loading this on here, and this is the reason why we're doing it. It's not like you can do it sort of remotely and just sort of say, oh, it's in there surreptitiously.
Right, yeah, and it's more of a conversation point, too, because you can kind of teach them how to access it right. It also has like a YouTube filter, so there's a lot of parents out there.
Well, you're taking away all the fun, mister.
Right, so.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, those are a couple of really good ideas just in terms of some of that stuff. When we come back, Julian will tell us about some of the other things that can be used to help keep us focused on what we're supposed to be doing. All right, we're back with our Tech Talk guru, Julian Sanders from London Drugs and the computer department there. Okay, so we were talking about distractions and some of the things you can do in terms of parental control. There are some other things that can be used along those lines. Let's talk about this Kaspersky Pure, and we've talked about security items on the program before, but what's so special about this?
Kaspersky allows you to monitor all of the computers in your house remotely. So basically, you set it up once, you allow access control, so you have different age ranges of kids. You can have one one group set aside for more parental control than another.
Okay.
And you can also quickly and easily dial in to see if your updates are done, see if anything's been installed without your knowledge.
Okay, all right, good. So it's I know it sounds sort of big brotherish, but I think parents have a real concern about, you know, there is so much access to so much information, and some of it isn't the best stuff for kids to be seeing. Let's take a look at the Norton Internet Security thing. I've got Norton on my machine. It just seems like a pretty straightforward thing. Is there anything special about this level of Norton?
The new Norton 2012 actually adds in social network threats. A lot of people will have their accounts compromised, and they'll send out links that look legitimate. People will click on them, so that scans you for that too. Also allows parental control. Very easy to set up time of day access too. There's a free program for Windows that Microsoft makes. It's called Windows Live Family Safety. Totally free, and these two work in conjunction with that and your router.
Okay, and we're just about out of time, but tell me about the router. You got about 15 seconds.
The router has access for the whole house, so it doesn't matter whose computer it is. You can screen the web, and you can allow certain times a day.
All right, Julian, some great ideas on staying focused. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.